Hello, aspiring call center agent. This is Nayumi Cee speaking. For today's topic, we'll talk about 8 Concentrix final interview questions and tips. And this is specifically for travel accounts. So most of you are applying for Concentrix, and I feel like this is a very good topic to cover. And we'd like to say thank you so much to Mr. John Ray Cinco, because if not because of him, we will not be able to create this content today. And by the way, as you noticed, these are just questions and tips, so I didn't include sample answers to these questions. So if you want to know what are my sample questions or sample answers, of course, make sure to stay tuned and subscribe to my channel for that. But of course, you can already create your sample answers based on the tips I will be providing in this video. And having said that, let's begin. So the very first question is, what's the best way to deliver bad news to the customer? If we can't grant the request, how would you deliver it? Okay, so tips to nail this question is, first, when delivering a bad news, remember to use positive scripting. Now, I already created a video about positive scripting, so I'll just put the link in the description box down below so you get to have an idea. Basically, it's like using positive words, positive phrases in order for you to deliver bad news. Sometimes it's your choices of words that matters, right? And how you deliver it, of course. And another thing is, when an agent can't grant the customer's request because maybe it's against the company's policy, maybe it's not available, or maybe it's not really something that's possible as of this time, so he or she should still give options or alternatives for the customer to choose from. So Americans enjoy giving options. Like they appreciate if you will give them options. So even if it's not something that they really like, if you will give them multiple options to choose from, they feel like you've done everything that you could. It's just that what they want is something that's not available just yet. And most of the time, they will pick the option that's closest to what they want. Okay? And with this thing, you also have to know when to empathize and when to apologize. And with that, you should know what's the difference between the two. Basically, empathize, or you have to empathize when something wrong happened to the customer. For example, what's the example I can give? Maybe he or she forgot to pay the ticket she bought. That's why she wasn't able to enter the flight, or something like that. Enter the flight. Did I use proper word? Yeah. And you also have to know when to apologize. And apologize, you only have to apologize when our company did something wrong, an agent did something wrong towards the customer that caused him or her inconvenience. Okay, something like that. And of course, when delivering bad news, your tone of the tone of your voice matters. Like even if you're using the best words to describe the situation, if you are kind of laughing while delivering it, even if the customer is sad, then that doesn't matter. The customer will still feel upset and would say that you don't care at all. Okay, so make sure that if the customer feels sad, the tone of your voice should be a little low or sympathetic. Or if the customer is happy, then you need to sound upbeat as well. Okay? So, need mo maging artista. Alright, so question number 2 is, what was the worst travel experience you've had? Okay, so here are my tips to nail this question. Okay, share the not so good travel experience of yours, but don't go too far. Like blaming someone and why things turned that way, etc. So, of course, there are really reasons why a travel wasn't so good, but of course, you don't need to blame anyone because of what happened. Okay, accept what happened and let it be. And the second is it may be a worse travel experience, but still look at something positive that happened on that trip. Of course, you may say it's worse, but of course, you get to, of course, share as well what's the bright side of it. Okay, like you were able to take good photos, you were able to eat your favorite dish in that particular restaurant, something like that. And last tip, if you don't have any bad travel experience, good for you, then just be honest and tell. You may also tell your interviewer what will you do if that happened to you. For example, you honestly don't have any bad experience. All of the travels you've had, even just the short travels that you have from office to home, all of those you enjoy because you're kind of listen to music as you're on your way to your home or to your office, and then you also kind of read books, so you basically enjoy that short travel experience of yours. And so yeah, you can be honest with them or with your interviewer, and then you can also, yes, share what will you do if that specific event happened. Okay, question number 3 is, what was the most memorable travel experience you've had? It's like contrary to the first or to the second question. So yes, share that travel experience of yours that excites you the most, the one which you truly enjoyed and got so much fun. But don't get too excited about sharing that experience of yours with your interviewer because you might end up over talking. Because if you really enjoyed that trip, of course you will be so detailed when it comes to sharing that kind of story, and you might end up over talking. Don't go over the too specific details like, I woke up at 5:30 in the morning. After that, I prayed. And like the step-by-step process of how you've done it, you basically kind of tell a brief story only, not the specific story or specific event like what happened to day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, something like that, right? Okay. Question number 4 is, what do you know about airline or travel agency? Okay, tips to nail this question is, if you already have an idea that the account you'll be handling is a travel account, do prior research already. And if you're listening at this video or watching this video right now, then perfect. Congratulations, you're doing it already. And if you have zero knowledge about this, then share your personal thought instead about the topic. You may share how fascinated you are with traveling, that traveling is one of your dreams, and that if you'll be indoors in a travel account, you'll surely like it as it is something you look forward to. You can also share your idea about travel agencies, how they operate, and the like. Okay? Okay, question number 5. Can you walk me through about your travel experience? So tips to nail this question is this. When you say walk me through, your interviewer wants you to share the step-by-step process you've done when you traveled. Share how you planned that travel, how long was it, what did you do during that travel. And this is the time that you have to be specific but not too much. Okay? Okay, so when I say but not too much, you have to be specific with the details, but don't say, okay, the first trip I wore red dress and then anything like that. I think it's not that needed really. It's not that necessary. So yeah, you have to be specific but not too specific. Okay, question number 6 is, what was your dream travel destination? Okay, you can imagine what is it. So, okay, tips to know this question. Share what's the country you wish to visit, especially international ones like USA. Of course, if it's a travel account, then say it's USA already. Yeah, and then you also have to, even if you really wanted to travel within the Philippines only, then if since this is like an international account, you need to pick something that's international located outside the Philippines, and then it's best if you will select USA. New York, preferably, char. Okay, tell your interviewer why you want to visit that country or place. Okay, of course you always have reason in mind. Why do you want to go there? Okay, question number 7 is customer needs to travel due to a death of a family member. Unfortunately, flight got canceled due to bad weather. How would you respond? How would you empathize to a customer if their flight get canceled? So let's analyze this question because this is the perfect question, or this is the perfect situation where you have to use positive scripting and you have to empathize. Why do you have to empathize? Because something happened or something wrong happened to that particular customer, and that something get canceled or her flight get canceled because of bad weather. Now bad weather is something that we can no longer control, so that's something that it's not a problem, or even our company or that airline company of ours is not a problem. It's not their problem. So yeah, I have tips to nail this question. I'm sorry I wasn't able to edit that out. So yeah, apply the magic of positive scripting, okay? Put your customer situation or feelings into your own shoes. So you know how it feels like, right? And you also have to provide an alternative ways or different options. Of course, as I've mentioned, I'm sorry if I always say of course, of course. Pardon. Okay, so you have to provide alternatives. Say for example, the flight get canceled. So you have to, okay, today, like this trip, like 9:30 a.m. flight got canceled, but we have flight for 10:30. Would like to move the flight instead, something like that. We have flights tomorrow once the weather is fine, or once the weather gets back to normal, then we will have flight shortly, something like that. But yeah, make sure to stay tuned so I can create sample answers to these and have an idea or guide at least. Okay, last question is question number 8. How do you take criticism? Okay, so tips to nail this question: apply this at a work-related situation. It's not something personal, right? Okay, control your reaction towards criticism. Like, how do you react to criticism? You need to control it and don't take it personally. Okay, so most of the time, maybe the customer calls in, he's upset, he's angry because he cannot fly, something like that. So he or she will be angry towards you, but don't take it seriously, don't take it personally, and you also have to learn from it. Okay, and that's it for today's topic. Make sure to stay tuned to the second part. Okay, this is Nayumi Cee once again. See you again. Bye.